Hey, spooky friends. So, this is going to be a very different video than what you're used to from me. So, I'm actually waiting on someone to come out from a doctor's appointment, and I'm sitting here in the parking lot, and I'm like, I think I'm going to film. And here I am. So, today I am going to talk about HalloweenTown, HalloweenTown versus Hocus Pocus. But I'm going to talk about Hocus Pocus first. And I'm probably going to get some dislikes here, but I've mentioned it in previous videos that although I like Hocus Pocus a lot, I will say that it is a very good movie. I just don't understand why it's so hyped up. Okay. Hocus Pocus came out in 1993, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 38. And it takes place in Salem, Massachusetts, and three kids go exploring in an abandoned house, and one of the kids, Max, accidentally frees a coven of evil witches, the Sanderson Sisters. And the Sanderson Sisters used to live in the old abandoned house, and they were considered to be evil witches. And so, the three kids, Max, his little sister, and his newly found friend, they decide that they want to prevent the witches from becoming immortal. So they steal the witch's spell book, and that's what the movie is about the sisters getting to the kids, getting their spell book back so they can use it to cast a spell to become immortal. And the kids get help from a cat, a black cat, imagine that. That is, that's an old friend, let's just say that. And with the help of some other creatures from the dead, they get help to try to prevent the sisters from getting the book. It is a good movie, like I said. I highly recommend watching it with the kiddos. It's one of those movies that you could sit and watch as an adult. There's adult humor in it as well, but it was mainly geared for little kids. I would say kids of any age could watch it. The smaller ones, like I'd say maybe 8 and younger, might get a little scared at some parts of it, because my nephew did. He was, I think, 7 when he first watched the show, and there were some parts, some of the creatures kind of freaked him out a little bit. But then once the characters started to show a funny side, like they did something funny, yeah, he was over that fear. So, but it's definitely a family-friendly movie. Definitely a good movie for family night in with some snacks and watch it. The second one is coming out next year. And I will be watching it and reviewing it, because it's been so long since the first one ended. So it's interesting to see which direction they go with the second one. It's got a lot of comedy in it. It has a few creepy moments. Like I said, for little ones would be kind of intense. Overall, it is definitely a cozy movie. Okay. Enough of Hocus Pocus. Now, let's move on to one of my favorites, and that is the HalloweenTown series. I have seen all the HalloweenTowns. I love every single one of them. But if I had to pick a favorite, I would say probably HalloweenTown High is my favorite one, I think, out of the bunch. So you've got HalloweenTown that came out in 1998, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 80. Then you've got HalloweenTown 2, Calabar's Revenge, which came out in 2001. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 62. Then you've got, from 2004, HalloweenTown High. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 65. And then you've got, in 2006, Return to HalloweenTown, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 61. Return to HalloweenTown's probably my least favorite. Um, I just felt like the storyline was a bit slow, and I feel like they could have done more with it. But anyway, we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. So let's talk about the first one. And by the way, these are all Disney Channel original movies. You can find all of them on Disney Plus right now. And you might be able to find them on Amazon Prime as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. But definitely you can find them on Discovery Plus. So let's break it down. So the first one is about a mother trying to keep the secret that herself and her kids are witches. The grandmother comes on Halloween for a visit and tells the mother she needs her help in HalloweenTown as well as the kids' help. The mom refuses and makes it clear she wants her kids to live normal lives. However, the oldest daughter overhears the conversation and convinces the other kids to run away and help Grandma. So they make it to HalloweenTown, and the evil mayor is up to no good, and it's up to the grandma and the kids to save HalloweenTown. And just when things are looking bleak, Mom shows up and saves the day! Yay! Yeah, I love the first one. It's so cute. I love it to death. So let's talk about the second one, Calabar's Revenge. So, an angry warlock, which is Calabar's son, well, and Calabar, has stolen Aggie's magic spellbook. Aggie is Grandma. And plans to turn everyone into whatever costume they are wearing at midnight on Halloween. It becomes a race against time to get the book back and save the humans from permanent horror. So, in their world, in the human world, the school is having a huge Halloween party, and it's late at night. It's gonna, be past midnight and everything. And so Calabar's son comes and he pretends to be, this normal kid or whatever, new to the neighborhood or whatever. And so he is aware of this party and he decides he's going to use that to his advantage. And so him and his father decide that they're going to do this to wreak havoc on the human world for revenge. So if you haven't seen the first one, then you wouldn't understand the second one. So you definitely want to watch the first one to understand the second one. So let's talk about HalloweenTown High, my favorite one. So Marnie, which is the oldest daughter, organizes a student exchange program between her mortal school and HalloweenTown High. Things start to go bad when a warlock tries to use an ancient order against witches and evil magic to stop the program from happening. There's some celebrities appearances in HalloweenTown High, but they're from shows from the 80s. So if you were not an 80s kid, you wouldn't recognize these celebrities. I recognized them right away because I was an 80s kid and I watched the shows that these characters were in. So I knew who they were right away. So HalloweenTown High to me has the most comedy in it. The continuity from the other two it's great throughout all of the movies. They really did a good job with the continuity of it. What else can I say? I mean, to me, it's just the best. There's so many more characters, and the characters go from pretending that they're mortal and then back to themselves, as whatever creatures they were from HalloweenTown. I give mega props to the actors and actresses who played those characters, because these were young kids. They were actual high school kids, if not a little younger. So to have to play one part and then all of a sudden be able to switch and play the part of the monster that they are from HalloweenTown, that takes some great talent at that young age. And they pull it off phenomenally. I just think the acting is fantastic in that one. Like I said, there's much more comedy in that one. But because there's more monsters involved in that one, if the kids are a little skittish watching the first and second one, they're really going to be even more skittish watching the third one. But other than that, I mean, but the characters are so lighthearted and funny that it may not scare them. Just the looks of them may intimidate the little ones a little bit. So the last one is Return from HalloweenTown. Return to HalloweenTown. Marnie and Dylan, which Dylan is the son, they go off to college, and of course all mayhem starts to break loose, and the kids find themselves in all sorts of bad situations. An evil council wants to steal everyone's powers, and it's up to the Piper family and Grandma to save the day. So, like I said, the last one doesn't have a lot of comedy in it. It's more dramatic, but it tells a really good story, and it tells a huge backstory. And it sheds some light on a few questions that, you know, when you watch it, you're like, oh, okay, so that explains why this happened in that one, and then, you know, like, this happened in part one, or, oh, okay, well, that explains why this happened in the second one, you know, that kind of thing. It answers a lot of questions, and it wraps things up. However, the original character that played Marnie and all the others is different in this one. So a lot of people didn't like this final one because they hadn't used the original Marnie actress. But I think this Marnie, she does a really good job as in the role. But I would love for them to make a new one and make Marnie like a mother and have children, and her children start going through the same kind of stuff that she did. And only except, you know, instead of her being like her mom, who tried to hide the fact that they were witches, she embraces it. And so then with her and her children, they create all new kinds of mayhem and mischief and saving the day and that kind of thing. I would love to see that happen with HalloweenTown. I think that would be great. And have all the original cast in it as well, except Debbie Reynolds, of course. But the mom from all of these could take Grandma Aggie's place in the new film. That would be awesome. She could take Debbie Reynolds' place. That would be cool. So that's going to do it for today's review on Hocus Pocus versus HalloweenTown. Now, why I said versus is because of this, because both of them, like, kind of have the same Disney feel. They're both about witches. There's evil involved in both of them, and then it's up to kids to save the day. So if you did a kids weekend and you wanted to watch something with the kids that kind of had a theme to it, definitely do Hocus Pocus and the HalloweenTown series. It all has a theme, and they're all lighthearted comedies, and I think it has something for everyone, because there is adult humor in HalloweenTown as well. In fact, I think there's more adult humor than there is kid humor in HalloweenTown. So definitely check that out. And like I said, that's going to do it for today's video. I am recording on my phone, not my camera, so it's a little bit weird recording on my phone because I haven't used my phone to record in forever, I feel like. So that's going to wrap it up. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos coming up, and I hope everyone is having a spooktacular October so far. And if you're going trick-or-treating, please stay safe. And if you are going out partying, stay safe as well. And just remember, stay spooky, my friends. Thank you for watching.